The Cleveland class of light cruiser was a design for the US Navy for financial year 1940. The Navy requirements were for an increased range and increased anti-aircraft armed cruiser in comparison to the previous cruisers. After tests with drones to simulate incoming torpedo and dive bombers, the current anti-aircraft fire from cruisers was found to be severely lacking, unless fire control directors and associated mechanical solution computers were used. With early radar control added to the design, every anti-aircraft gun platform above a 20mm was designed to be remotely powered and aimed by the central fire control radar systems. The addition of extra radar and fire control systems gave the design various weight issues, as the initial designs were intended to stay within the 1930s London Treaty limits of 8,000 tons. Removing the third front 6-inch triple turret, which was in previous designs, gave room for the Combat Information Center, radars and associated equipment, but the design would continue to be overweight and, more critically, very top heavy throughout its career, only being made worse during World War II as more light anti-aircraft guns were added. The final design specification was 11,700 ton displacement, 180 meters long at the waterline, 20 meters beam, and would go at 32.5 knots full speed and had a cruising range of approximately 9,900 nautical miles. Armament was 4 triple 6-inch turrets, 2 superfiring at the front, 2 superfiring at the rear, with 6 dual 5-inch turrets, with 2 of them mounted just behind the main 6-inch triple turrets, giving them a wide field of fire, and 2 more turrets on both the port and starboard near the main superstructures. The standard fitting was for 12 40mm anti-aircraft Bofors with 2 quad mounts and dual mounts. This would increase throughout the war, going up to 28 40mm mounts in the later models, with 4 quad mounts and 6 dual mounts. Additional 20mm Oerlikon cannons were also mounted on the ship, with up to 20 being placed for anti-aircraft duty. On the stern was 2 catapults, and a rear hangar area contained 4 float planes. Armour was not a major concern for the ship, with the main belt armour being between 3 to 5 inches on the belt, 2 inches on the deck, and the maximum was 6.5 inches on the main gun turret faces. 52 ships were initially planned, but only 27 cruisers were completed between July 1940 and September 1944. An additional 9 hulls were converted or changed to be light carriers, becoming the Independence class of light carrier. During World War II, the cruisers served mainly in the Pacific theatre with the fast carrier fleets, but some did serve in the European and African theatre. All ships were put into the thick of the action, many being damaged to various extents, but all of the original 27 ships survived to the end of the war. Most of the ships were decommissioned in the late 1940s, but a few were converted to make use of new missile systems being deployed by the Navy. The Galveston, Little Rock and Oklahoma City were converted into the Galveston-class guided missile cruiser, removing the rear triple turrets and 5-inch guns and fitting the Talus long-range missile launcher on the rear and its associated radar systems and reloading system. These served in various conflicts and were in service until the late 1970s. The Providence, Springfield and Topeka were converted to the Providence class guided missile cruiser, and similar to the Galveston, had their rear guns removed and were fitted with the Terrier medium-range missile system, and also served into the 1970s. The only surviving ship of the Cleveland class is the Little Rock CL-92 CLG-4, currently located at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park.